Here it is, second video, Unit 8. So, you can see this lovely picture. Nope, except for the opposite. It's not lovely, it's smoggy and gross. And it is our air. You know, our air in Los Angeles is pretty much the worst in the United States. You know, obviously our traffic is terrible. We've got a lot of factories and such. All of those things contribute to the smog in the air. Now, what's kind of crazy is that smog actually has these things called particulates. And so the air we breathe, it doesn't just have beautiful, fresh oxygen and a little carbon dioxide and some nitrogen. It also has little tiny pieces of dust and metal that we breathe in, and they can cause health problems. Maybe you've heard that the city of San Pedro has one of the highest child asthma rates. And that's why, because they live right near the port of Long Beach there, and they breathe in a lot of junk in their air. Now, this is what we were doing with the seeds I sent you guys home with. Hopefully you were looking at those. Now, when it rains, because of the smog in the air, the rain turns slightly acidic. That is when the pH goes below normal. Now, normal pH should be something like a 7, but it could be if there is smog in the air, it could make it lower, like even a 4. The liquid we put into your other dishes was a pH 3. So we're gonna, you probably already saw what is the difference between water and pH acidic rain on a plant. Now, this is pretty much the fancy explanation for how acid rain starts. You know, it's going to mix with nitrogen and sulfur in the air, and those tend to be high up in the atmosphere. So then they're going to mix, and up high in the atmosphere is where clouds form their rain, and that's when it's going to come down. So this is, I think you guys have a spot to draw the acid rain cycle. If you're not really much of a drawer, you can see it's pretty easy, not too bad. You can draw a truck first, you can draw some buildings, draw a tree, draw some rain. Make sure you have these two gases in the air. It's sulfur oxide, S for sulfur, O for oxygen, and also nitrous oxide. N for nitrogen, O for oxygen. Now, there is something called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect, now I already even said test question alert. The greenhouse effect is actually a good thing. It is what traps heat in our atmosphere, and it keeps it warm enough for us to live here. If we did not have this greenhouse effect, the earth would be too cold for life. The greenhouse effect is a good thing. Now, you're going to watch Mr. Parr. He really loves our planet. And another thing, though, this is kind of weird that it's on the slide, but frogs, like Kermit, are actually considered something called an indicator species. This is on the test. They are going to be able to tell us what is wrong with an environment. So, they can show us, they can indicate, you need to know this, boom, population size, boom, overall health of an organism. Indicator species. So if scientists went to a pond and they were looking at these frogs and a whole bunch of them had died since the last time they saw them, then they can figure out, oh, hey, there's something going on in this ecosystem. What is it? Is it also affecting the fish? Is it something in the water? Is it something about the insects? So an indicator species is going to be able to show the overall health of a big ecosystem, not just its own species. We'll watch a little YouTube video in class, but something's wrong with this picture. There it is. All right, now biomagnification. Bio means life. Magnification. So this is when, remember the whole food pyramid or the food chain, the energy pyramid, and down here at the bottom was the producers and then consumers, and this is us, right? Woo, we're the top. Yeah, we're on the top of the food chain. Nobody eats us. Now, if we eat something toward the bottom, actually the toxins move up the food chain. It's crazy. We are actually, as the top of the food chain, we are most affected by pollutants. Here's how. Have you guys heard of tuna having something called mercury in it? Like regular, not just bougie sushi, like tuna from the can. We all eat it. I do. It has mercury in it. The mercury came from the actual tuna fish. Tuna is a fish, once lived in the sea. And it is something that our bodies have a really difficult time processing. So it is best not to have tuna more than once or twice a week. Do not eat it every day. We will watch another video about the ocean. Doing this. Okay. Now, you've probably seen this movie WALL-E. Maybe you've noticed you have a paper at the back of your notes. It is a WALL-E. It is extra credit if you have seen WALL-E. Answer those questions. If not, it's no problem. It's not mandatory. But if you've seen WALL-E, or if you can get your hands on it and watch it, definitely do it, and watch it as a teenager in science class, as a scientist. Don't watch it like a kid would watch it. Now, conservation. We have got to think about the future. We cannot just think of now. So that is what's going to really be the key to making sure that we have a Earth for future generations. So in that vein, thinking about conservation, there's a bunch of new things that are happening. One is called sustainable development. That's where if they're going to use natural resources for something, they make sure they think ahead about it. For example, they've cut down these logs, these trees. Well, they've already thought ahead of that. They didn't just cut down a random forest and all the monkeys in the trees be damned. They specifically set aside this part of land. They grew those trees specifically to be cut down, and they will replant more trees in their place. And they're actually being really smart about it. They're not just cutting down forests. They are, they're being very intentional, and that is called sustainable development. So composting, I don't know if you guys know what composting is, but this is kind of interesting about a composting toilet. It's basically like a porta potty in your house. There's not very much, it doesn't use any water. So thinking about, if waste enters your toilet, it's mostly 90% water. That's your pee, and your poop is a lot of water. Pretty much it will take your pee and poop, and it will make it into fertilizer that you can use in your garden. That's real. So there's a couple more examples of sustainable practices. You do need to know this on your test. Here's an example is locally grown produce. This is people here at the farmer's market. If there's a farmer's market near you, that's a great way to get your fruits and vegetables. If you don't have access to that, try, Fresh and Easy is a good place to get your vegetables. Recycling, of course, we all know what recycling is. And using less water. We've got to be aware of our water. We're going to do an activity in class about water, and it's going to really open your eyes to how much water we actually use. Oh, endangered species. This one gets everybody every time. The panda bear, the polar bear. I don't know what he is, but he's so cute. I don't know, cute or not. I think cute. So endangered species, you know, obviously are in danger of being eliminated from the earth. Now there's something called umbrella species, like as in like under my umbrella, Ella. This kind of umbrella. So an umbrella species is going to protect other species. So if you protect it, other species will be protected as well. Like two people standing under an umbrella. So why the heck should I care? I mean, come on. I am only a teenager. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't even make the shopping decisions in my house. So I don't know what you're asking me to do. Well, it is very important that we care because biodiversity ensures that we will be able to live for future generations. One thing that's interesting is that medicines actually come from plants. Many of our medicines do. And so, you know, we can't just be like, damn the plants, who cares? We have to care. We have to care. Because we actually use more than we know. Oh no, don't get hit by the car. This bear is trying to get to his home. But what's happened is that a road has been built in between two of his habitats. So habitat fragmentation, it is keeping him, it's an obstacle that this bear has to deal with in order to get to his back and forth between his habitats. Okay, major test question right now. So people always act like, oh, you didn't tell me about this. Yes, I did. Here it is right here. This is an introduced species. Write this down right now. It is also called invasive. 2 words. They're the same. Invasive species. Introduced, invasive. Same thing. Oops. Species. Got it. Now, this right here, look, this car is buried in this plant. This plant is called kudzu. Here it is, spelled out for you right there. Kudzu plant. It is a bad boy plant because it basically steals the nutrients from all the other plants around it, and it grows like crazy. Problems with an invasive species could be that it could cause animals around it to be dependent on it. It could take resources from other plants and animals around it. Very important. It is an invasive species and it is bad. Alright, so it is about that time to do your secret password question. So you guys, you should study. You should get your homework done. I'm going to be there to see you soon. And let me think of a good one. What is one way you can help the planet? What is one way you can help the planet? You write me your answer. All right, my dears. I will see you soon. Bye.